Everyone, and thank you for coming back for the Young and the Restless soap opera review and recap. We're going to go over the one that aired on today, February the 20th. Yes. We're going to go and jump right on into it. We have Lauren gets a solicitor's phone call and she thinks it's Scotty, but it wasn't. And Michael embraces her because they're worried about Scotty. He's missing in action. He works for this British, he's a journalist and he works for a British newspaper and he's out on assignment. Very dangerous one. He's in some type of tour with the military and he's trying to do a story over there with the fighting and all the unrest over in a third world country or whatnot. So she's very disturbed that he may be missing or hurt or something. So she's kind of upset. Then we leave that situation, we go to Billy. Billy finally figures out Victoria's at the hospital to see him and how Jill is doing. And Billy likes that she's there being his support system. Move on from there, we have Mariah and Sharon are at Crimson Lights getting dessert and coffee. Mariah's happy or hanging out with her mom. Mariah's taking Sharon to the underground a little later to witness open mic night. And she's just really doing it because she don't want her to be sitting around the house thinking about Dylan and all this other stuff. Then we have Abby. Abby's at the underground trying to help Noah with his open mic night. Chelsea is not in her cheery mood when she arrives with Nick at underground. Go to the commercial, come back. Where Sharon is telling Mariah, does she have to sing? And Mariah wants her to see Noah at the club. She just get her little act going on and she picks up the little instrument that I guess they use to spray out drinks or whatnot, and she uses it as a microphone. And she's like, now if we're gonna be doing this, or if you're gonna make me sing, then nah, we ain't going. And she said, no, I was just teasing. I just want you to go be with some young people and enjoy yourself for at least this one day and night. So of course Sharon goes on to say, okay, we'll do that. Then Sharon doesn't know if she really wants to keep underground. Nick and Sharon used to own Crimson Lights, but I think it was named something else before they named it Crimson Lights, but who knows? It could have been named at all times. It's so way back. Can't really remember. But anyway, it brings back memories, fond memories of Cassie when she was alive, which is really Mariah, but you know how the soap opera and the writers play things up. And then her and Nick being married. So, and Mariah really doesn't like the fact that she thinks she's going to sell it. So she's like, you can do this, you can run this, it'll be fine. So we leave that situation, we go to Nick and Noah. They're talking about business at Underground. When Abby asked Nick, is she worrying too much about Victoria coming back trying to take over the business after Victor retires or dies? And that's a conversation Nick really don't want to have because hell, Victor don't fuck with all of his children on that case in point of who's going to be the heir to the throne of Newman Enterprises when the dad kicks over, or he just retires and don't want to go back. And he's like, just I don't really want to talk about it. So Abby is feeling some kind of way about that. Then we go to Billy. Billy talks with Victoria about Jill having the heart attack. Billy is telling Victoria to get her heart checked. He can't go through this again, and he don't want his children to ever go through this. And then Billy is really thinking about making a change himself. Him stepping up to the plate and finally becoming the adult everybody know he could be. Then we go to Lauren. Lauren is talking with Michael about Scotty, and she's a real wreck at this point. Paul comes over to talk with Lauren about Scotty. He says Scotty may be missing in action. Go to commercial, come back. Victoria's asking who else knows about Jill's heart attack. Billy's talking about Jill's stressors. Billy thanks Victoria for showing up at the hospital. Then she leaves and goes home to her family, or their family in a sense. Then we have Lauren is extremely upset what Paul is saying to her. Paul is following up with Lauren about his investigation. Scotty never published a story or got a chance to do his story because he never checked back in at his hotel, nor at the publication journalist office he works for. And the paper has been looking for him as well. So they're kind of upset. But really what got Paul on the case was Michael was very concerned and he called and to see if Paul could do anything with his connections with the police force. Then we go from that situation, we go to Victoria arrives at home and find Reed at home and being a smartass to her when she's asking about how did the family dinner go after she left, what else been going on since she's been at home, and he's really not trying to hear it. Then we have Nicholas is telling Abby to just do what she's doing and just stop second guessing herself at the company. Nick says, just have fun tonight and stop overthinking Newman Enterprises' business dealings. Okay, don't let it consume your life, is basically what he was trying to say. Learn as much as you can and just go with the punches. Okay, then Nick is asking Chelsea, is she okay? Because her mood has changed from high to low. Nick even says he will get on stage to perform if it will make her smile. Like, right? The first act goes on stage and they're horrible and very sad. We go to commercial. We come back. We have Michael's trying to find out information about Scotty from the embassy. But he comes up empty handed. Lauren believes Scotty is in grave danger. Lauren says she's going to find Scotty. We go from that situation, we go to Sharon and Mariah. Shows up at the club or underground, and Mariah sees Nick and Chelsea together. And Mariah thinks it might be just a little bit too much and can have a negative effect on Sharon and her mental state. Since Dylan left, she thought she could go back to Nick, and everybody's been pushing her and Nick together. But they also were pushing Chelsea and Nick together prior to Dylan leaving, so it's all a very confusing situation. But anyway, Sharon goes to say she ain't no punk. She's cool. With Chelsea being around Nick, she pretty much encouraged it. So Sharon goes over to speak to both of the couple, Chelsea and Nick. Sharon is just being nosy, on the flip side as well. And Noah comes over to talk to Sharon because he noticed that she's there. And of course, she said, I wouldn't miss it. Like, yeah, you're lying, Sharon. You was going to miss it because you're going to go back home, remember? But Mariah pulled you out the house. Okay, then we have Abby's wanting Noah to come down and play at open mic night. She's wishing he could, but she also knows that he was grounded by Victoria, her sister. Katie and Reed is asking about what is she going to do with running a company and going away from home so much. Because, like I said, Victoria came home to check on her kids and see what else, and she found Reed there. So pretty much she's educating Reed on the dealings of having your own business, running it, the satisfaction and the passion you have for it. It's just like birthing a baby and going through all those developmental stages with the child and this, that, and the third. And, she said, you'll understand one day. Okay. Um, then the doorbell rings. Reed goes to answer it. It's Billy. Billy has come over to see if he can pretty much just see the kids. Okay, we go to commercial, come back. Billy's telling Victoria that there's no change. He tells Reed that his mom had a heart attack. Billy just came by to see the children. Reed is talking to Victoria while Billy is upstairs seeing the kids. And he's trying to ask more questions about how Billy is so distraught. Victoria leaves to go check on Billy. Then that's when Reed takes out of content basically what his mother was trying to tell him about being passionate about something and going full steam with it, regardless of what people may say. So he enjoys performing, singing, playing instruments. He's just a lover of the music feel, and he wants to express that. So he took it out of content and basically disregarded that he was on punishment and he wasn't supposed to pick up that guitar and do shit with it. He just went on out the house and said, deuces, I gotta go follow my dream, just like my mama said, you know? But that's teenager behavior 101. Okay? They only listen to what they want to listen to and take in what they want to take in. Okay? They still miss the big picture. Okay? Because they just basically doing what serves them better, what makes them happy. Okay? So Reed sneaks out and goes to the underground to perform. Okay. Then we have Paul and Mike, who is trying to stop Lauren from getting on a plane to go and find Scotty. Paul gets a call from Washington, D.C., and Lauren and Michael listens on to his conversation, thinking they could pick up something prior to him getting off the phone. Then we have Nick and Sharon talks about Mariah, but sees Cassie and her. They go back down memory lane. Back down memory lane. Okay, then we go to Sharon. Sharon is talking to Nick about whether to sell Crimson Lights or whatnot. Nick says keep it and run it. We go to Reed. Is at the underground. He done showed up. Abby and Noah is asking how did he get Victoria to let him out the house. He tells everyone in a roundabout way. His mother gave him her blessing for him to be there. And I'm like, Reed, no, she did. Your ass gonna be right back in punishment. She's gonna take all your shit again. Then she might just send your behind over to where your daddy at, which is never land, okay? I'm like, oh, Reed, you're such a liar. Anyway, we'll move on from there. We have Mariah. Notice Reed is looking at the alcohol plate that was set before him, and she believes he wants to take a drink. Now, we all know Reed is underage. He's about, what, 15, 16 years old, in a grown-ups club for open mic night. Okay. No, you're not going to get the club shut down. So she intervenes and say, no, you need to perform without thinking you're going to have any alcoholic beverages to light you up. Okay? They go to commercial, come back. Billy is thanking Victoria for letting him see the children. They're making small talk with one another. Reed goes to take a drink when Mariah stops Reed from getting it. She motivates Reed to just perform. He don't need to have the alcohol to get in front of everyone to perform. We go back to Paul. Paul gives Lauren some possible good news that Scotty is alive, but he may be being held against his will. Lauren gets an international phone call. She thinks it's Scotty, but no one is really saying anything on the other end. We go to commercial. We come back. Reed is on stage and he's a little bit nervous, but when he starts to sing, everyone takes note that, okay, he's a little shaky at first because he's almost trying to knock down the mic, a little fidgety up there, but when his mouth opened and that voice started, you know, filling the room, it was cool. Then we go back to Billy. Billy is telling Victoria is a good person. He believes in her. Victoria tells Billy he's a great person and everything is going to be fine with his mom. Okay, then we go to the last and final scene. Lauren gets a call from Scotty, but it's for only a few seconds she gets to hear his voice. Then the connection is lost. And of course, that sends Lauren back into a long tizzy spell of what's going on with her son. And if he is being held against his will and they're wanting ransom. Who knows? But anyway, that was The Young and the Restless that aired for February 20th. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, talking more about soap operas, Bold and the Beautiful, and The Young and the Restless, because that's all I do. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.